What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Strength Solutions Podcast. And today, you got to hit that subscribe button on Spotify and Apple, or on YouTube if you're watching us. Just smash it hard. Stupid. Then we got the like button. You can leave comments down below. How it's amazing. There's a guy that's bald next to a guy who has lots of hair, and he cannot share, which is very disappointing. And then we have our website, strengthsolutionspodcast.com. We have our email, strengthsolutionspodcast@gmail.com. That's where you can email us fitness questions. On our website, there's programs, blogs, and a lot of exciting things coming up as well. Then if you want to see us on social media, it's Strength Solutions Podcast on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. On Instagram, I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
All right, dude. We are going to have a ball today.
Let's go.
Let's talk about some sleep.
Yeah. Do you snore honk schnoo or honk me, you know?
I don't know. Mine's more
Just
especially when I'm super tired.
Are you a snorer? Do you snore?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Actually, snoring comes because your tongue actually gets bigger, right? As you become more overweight, or if you gain too much muscle, it also affects whether your tongue is bigger or not.
I was watching a video about like strongmen and how they all essentially have like CPAP machines, or because they like
bodybuilders
because they can't breathe, right?
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
That is crazy.
And think about it, you get no oxygen, you ain't getting sleep.
Yeah. You know what I've been using recently? We're already going off, but it's like a breathing strip on my nose at night to go to sleep. Dude, it's honestly changed a lot. Like I feel way more rested in the morning.
That's good.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think it would change that much, but using it at night.
Well, I guess we could start with supplementations and different things.
Okay,
yeah. So you start there, and what else do you do?
So I do that. I've been using that. I've tried two different ones. So there's like the breathe right strips, like the normal ones that you see that you just kind of like, it's like a sticky.
You ain't
strip.
breathing right because you're breathing hard right now.
And then there's another one that I just got. I've actually been seeing a lot of ads for it. It's called Intake. And it's a little bit different. It uses like a magnetic
take it up
strip.
your butt.
Yeah. So that's where you breathe from at night. It's like these two separate strips that you put on the sides of your nose, and they have a magnetic button kind of in the center of them, and then there's a metal magnetic strip that you put on, and then it like opens it up. I don't really know which one I like better. I feel like they kind of work the same, honestly. I honestly think I might like the breathe right strips more.
Because it probably just pulls it up.
It's way simpler. You just put it on, pull it off. With the magnetic strips, since they're two separate strips, sometimes you don't like get them right, and then like the thing's like off to the side, and I don't know. So it depends on what it is. But what I really was going to start using them for too is during my workouts.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, you get more oxygen.
Yeah. So I haven't.
Have you ever done ammonia?
Like smelling salts?
Yeah, smelling salts.
I've smelled them, but I've never like lifted afterwards. Dude, that shit fucking like electricity in your brain. Dude, you'll take a sniff and I'm like, it's fucking crazy. I've never had an experience like that.
Yeah, dude.
There was this guy that I used to know, and dude, he would literally just walk around the gym like with an open like bottle, just like all day, and I'd be like, is that safe? Should you be doing that?
Yeah, dude. So what I do for sleep, that's a supplement. I don't do the nose strip or anything like that. I do L-theanine about 2 hours in advance. I've been doing this past week, and it allows my brain to kind of calm down. And so that's what it does for you, right?
I'm going to ask you this question because I know you're about to go into this next one too. So with magnesium, do you have to take magnesium at night, or can you, could I take it in the beginning of the day? You
could take it to the beginning of the day to help relax the body and stuff, but it doesn't have the same effect because it doesn't have that long lasting as it would at night. Okay. But let's say if I'm taking it at night and I don't want to take it right before bed, I could take it 2 hours before.
Okay.
It'll still have an effect.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So I take that right before bed. So I have my L-theanine 2 hours before, and then I have, that's 200 milligrams, and then a 400 milligram magnesium glycinate.
Okay.
Right afterwards. And dude, ever since I've been doing that, my body has been more relaxed. When I wake up from nights, I feel more rested in the morning. I got more energy. I have a lot more brain clarity when I wake up.
Yeah.
I'm not as grumpy. I'm not like,
grumpy guy, man.
They call me the Grinch all year. Yeah. So doing those things are like supplementation, right?
Right.
They're going to help. But where do we get the big rocks from? And one of them is exercise. I don't think people talk about this enough, because we live in a society that's very sedentary. We sit down all the time. If you're an active individual already, you're killing this one.
Yeah.
Because you need to burn calories. You need to burn energy. And it also facilitates blood flow and recovery throughout your day. And it gives you a lot for the next day.
Yeah, I think it just sets your day up differently, even especially if you do it in the morning, you have a different mindset, right? It changes like your mindset pattern all the way through the day. You're trying to be more healthy, more active, you're expending more energy, etc., stuff like that. So I've noticed, and I've also noticed in the opposite way where it's like you definitely have to time it at a certain time, because if you do your workout super late at night, like good luck trying to get to bed.
Yeah,
I feel like it gives you that burst to get through the day. And then by the end of the day, you're like exhausted. Like this weekend, for example, I went to a gym. It was called Warhouse. Yeah. Very cool.
You saw people like, I am Spartan.
Yeah. Everybody was in suits of armor. Yeah. But we went to go work out around like 9 o'clock ish. Dude, by like 7, 8 p.m., I was fucking tired, man.
Yeah.
And it was just, I did my workout in the morning, and then it just kind of regulates your body throughout the day.
Yeah. Another thing is make sure you don't do what Nathaniel's doing right now, is drinking caffeine very late.
Oh, this isn't late. Come on, bro.
Dude,
it's only 6 p.m.
It's actually almost 2. And a lot of times people shouldn't drink caffeine past 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because caffeine has a half-life. And people don't think about that. It's another thing that people do and they think it's normal. There's a coffee shop, Brevity Coffee, near where I work. And I see people going in. I'm hoping they're working night shift, because it's like 6 and 7 o'clock at night. And those are caffeine items. And I'm thinking to myself, like, how do you go to sleep? And there's people who are like, it doesn't affect my sleep. And I could tell you, my wife was one of them. It does affect your sleep, because she notices the difference.
You just don't realize it because you've been doing it for so long, right? And so you just think like, oh, this is just normal. But yeah, it's crazy. There's a lot of these like kind of coffee shops that'll be open late, like 8, 9, 10. I think Dutch Bros is open till like 10 p.m.
That's crazy, right?
I'm like, who the fuck is getting shit
Ludicrous.
at 10 p.m.? Yeah, like unless you're an overnight worker.
You know what you need to do is go, move, bitch, get out the way. Gotta be Luda.
Yeah, you just gotta go in there and fucking tell them, shut this place down.
This is illegal.
I don't know if it shouldn't be, right? But it's like, it's just crazy that it's, I guess you can get an energy drink at any time of night, but it's just one of those things where it's like people are going to go if it's open, know? And like you said, I don't think they realize that they're just drinking caffeine that late, and then you're going to go to bed right after. Like it really messes with your sleep.
Yeah, dude. This next one is something I tell people a lot of times. And I did it today, actually, because I had a gap. And I went walking outside. Set up your morning where you do get sunlight. You'll see a lot of people driving with sunglasses. Getting UV red light into your eyes sets your circadian rhythm for your day.
I don't know if we'll talk about this later, but you sent me a video over the week of people putting on sunscreen.
Oh, yeah.
And the way that it looked under like a UV kind of scope, and it was completely, blocking out the entirety of the sun. So it's like if you're walking around with sunglasses on, a lot of sunscreen, I understand.
I'm going to give you a perfect example, dude.
Go ahead.
Amanda's like, I get sun. I don't put sun because we're in the pool. And I was like, the reason I cannot wear sunglasses in the pool and everybody else is wearing sunglasses, one, they probably want to look at everybody. But two, she was like, oh, it hurts my eyes, the reflection. She was like, it's because your eyes are darker. I was like, no, it's because I grew up not wearing sunglasses. Everybody wears sunglasses. And then you put on makeup that has sunscreen in it. Well, where are you going to get sunlight and set your circadian rhythm?
Yeah.
And a lot of women put on makeup and they wear their sunglasses in the morning, and it's going to affect your circadian rhythm the next day.
And it's one of those things too, where it's like been fed to us so much, like
the sunscreen,
wear sunscreen all the time, protect your skin, skin health is important, or beauty standards, things like that. Right. I mean, a lot of makeup brands, even like lotions and things like that will have sunscreen on them. And then you're putting it all over your body. And it's like you're blocking it out, And then if you're living here in Texas, we're probably rarely going outside now because it's just been so hot. So
I'm in the pool all the time.
Yeah, unless you're at the pool or something.
Got to give me that D, that vitamin D.
I think if you're going to be outside for an extended period of time in direct sunlight, I understand it at that point. But if you're just wearing it, casually, it should be a less often type of thing.
I think we just gave it such a bad rap for so long.
Yeah.
That we don't realize we get a lot of things from the sun, like just the rays. There's different colors in the spectrum, and the sunrise versus the sunset. Like getting actually sun at night too plays a role too, because it helps set. Oh, it's coming down. It's time to relax the body and calm down.
Yeah,
it's important as well.
Very.
Set up your temperature in your house at 70 or below.
Wow, that's Gonna upset a lot of people.
Especially CPS energy here.
Yeah. Crank that AC.
Crank that
as
AC.
low as you can.
Because in studies, it shows between 65 to 70 degrees is where most people sleep really well. Right?
Yeah.
So if we think about temperature and how human history, well, we didn't have AC. So it was cold at night. And then as the sun rose, it got warmer. And that's what kind of woke you up. Temperature plays a role in sleep and wake as well. So our bodies are sensitive to this, right? And I have a client who can even tell me when it rains because they've had injuries and stuff like that. People and
changes in pressure.
Okay, literally, we're in the middle of our session. We're 2/3 of the way in. And all of a sudden, she's like hurting. And she's like, it's probably raining outside. And, you know, in the gym I'm at, I'm in the back corner. I was like, no way. And it was raining. And then like the last third of our workout was a little rough because of it.
That's crazy, man. Yeah.
Your body can tell these things.
Temperature is important. I use, I really like a fan, both for like the noise and also to help keep temperature down, because my partner likes to sleep it a little bit hot and I don't like it. And you know,
I put a blanket on.
Put a fucking jacket on.
You should put a jacket on. Put some sweats.
You know, the thing that it made me think about in the future is like, you know how I think that it's a really interesting technology of the beds that they've created that have like separate side kind of settings on them where you can change like the cooling. Firmness. Yeah, cooling, things like that. I think that's super cool.
Yeah.
I think that should be implemented more, or more people should kind of look into that, because
I want to buy one of those pads that have it. You know what I'm talking
about? Yeah, like a cooling pad. Yeah, I think because people sleep together in the same beds, you know, and live together, coexist.
I told Amanda we need to get some bunk beds or something, like twin beds on the side. Like this is our sleep bed, and then this is our sex bed.
You can push them together whenever you guys want, and then push them apart. It's like a sleepover, bro.
You're too close right now. It's too hot. Then you got setting up the 3-2-1 rule, right? So 3 hours before bed, stop eating if you can. This is if you can. 2 hours before bed, stop drinking water. And 1 hour, turn off all the electronics. And this is because also the way we eat sets our circadian rhythm. This has been shown when people go to other countries. If they eat at their breakfast time, like as their first meal, and fast through the night before, they actually set their circadian rhythms better. Then as far as water goes, if you drink water too late, it's more of the having to get up and pee. This is probably for older individuals. Like when I was younger, I didn't really have this problem. But you have to go pee in the middle of the night, and that's going to wake your sleep, and then you're going to have more struggle. And the last one is the hour before, turn off all the electronics. I would argue you should turn off all your lights and just leave your electronics on like 2 hours before, and then take off the hour, because that last hour, you want to take away that excitement to the brain so that you can relax.
You know, I think you made a good point there too, that these are like optimization things, right? These are things if you want to optimize your sleep. Now, do as much as you can, right? I think the one thing is not to stress about this stuff, because if you're stressed about trying to get to bed, then it's not.
It's like when people get the Oura ring, they're like, my sleep wasn't good enough. And then they get worse sleep because they're so stressed about the sleep.
It's like, my stress is so high. And it's just like worse. Yeah. So these are things that you want to do to optimize, right? Now, if you can get maybe 50% of all these things, that's awesome. You know, if some nights, or, you know, like I think some of them are easy to implement, like temperature, right? That's easy. Turning off lights, that's easy, right? Like try and get a couple of these things in, getting consistent with working out. These are things that you can implement over time. If you do them all, you're going to have the best sleep that you can. But at the moment, whatever you can get done is most important.
So there's two that we haven't talked about previously, but the first one is yoga, or some sort of form of foam rolling, stuff that de-stresses the body, de-stresses you. Work breath work right before you go to bed, right? This is more of optimizing, something to calm the central nervous system down. I think that's vital to helping you sleep a little bit better. Yeah. So I know there's times I'm not perfect with this. I'm going to be quite honest, but there's times I'll foam roll a little bit before, stretch, and then I'll go take my shower, and then I go to bed, right? I feel more relaxed going into it. I feel calmer. I feel like I sleep better. I know I sleep better, right? And I fall asleep faster.
I think like you're talking about sort of like creating that routine, right? A bedtime routine.
It's like a hygiene routine, right?
Yeah. And I think that another thing that people need to understand is that this doesn't have to be like some 3-hour long ritual that you're doing or something like that. Like it can literally be the last 30 minutes before bed, you know, you change into your clothes or you turn off your computer from work or whatever, right? Just create some routine that happens before you go to bed. And you'll probably realize that doing that stuff helps you get to bed because you're just setting aside just a little piece of that day that prompts your nervous system, right, to be like, oh, this is bedtime. So when we talk about setting up these rituals or doing all this stuff, it's not, you don't got to go and do, you know, your 3-hour face care routine and then your 2-hour this, and then you got, you know, it's just something quick and simple that'll help you get ready for bed.
Yeah. This last one is social media. Get off of social media throughout the day. It can affect you. And I was talking to this young woman about it, and she asked me a question. I'm not going to go in detail of it, but some people can handle social media, some people can't. Yeah. And you don't realize you're always comparing subconsciously. So if I had all fitness influencers who were six-packed up, ripped up, in the back of my head, it's running. I'm not ripped up. I'm not this. I may not think about it in the forefront, but in the back of my mind it is. And I've seen guys who that's happened to. And I've seen a guy who I know, you know him too, who is pretty ripped up, and they don't think they're big enough. You know exactly who I'm talking about. And they look great. Dude, I would be like, 99% of men would want your body.
Dude, yeah, you got like the holy grail, man. But yeah, I agree. I think social media, like for me, for example, people in my age group are really into the
boomers are wrong
geopolitical, religious things happening overseas. Yeah. And like, man, sometimes I'm going through my stories and it's just like images after images of just like very violent stuff happening.
Or it's all boomers' fault.
Like, nope. Like, I'm just going to like go straight through that. But I can do that, right? I can regulate myself and be like, I'm not going to look at that person's story, or I'm just going to get off of Instagram right now because, you know, the fucking presidential debate just happened and I don't really care.
Ooh, I want to go into
that. We can go into it, yeah. Okay. But yeah, you know, and I can be like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't have the brain space for it. I'm just not going to watch it, you know, but other people can't, you know, and they have to like interact with every single thing, or they get pulled into it or whatever. And then you just like start this whole cycle of fucking everything. And that's in a different end, right? And then you have all those subconscious things, like you're saying, this comparing yourself to other people and stuff like that. And so at the end of the day, you just got to be able to regulate, you know, maybe that hour before bed is the only time that you can be off social media. I've gotten into the habit of turning off my phone a lot. Just because I know that I have that sort of habit of constantly checking. And so on the weekends, if I'm like, I know nobody's going to talk to me right now, there's nothing important going on, I don't need to be like at my phone, I'll just turn it off for a few hours, you know, and turn it back on maybe 2 hours later.
I know, that's why I get texts like 10 hours later.
Yeah. And it's
and
like,
there's like 100 memes. Beep, beep, beep. Damn, Edwin texts me a lot of memes.
And it's like, you know, I gotta set that time aside, because otherwise I know I'm going to be on it.
Yeah, dude. Okay. So you brought up politics. Did you watch the debate?
I didn't know, dude. I saw like maybe 10 minutes of it. There was this one part where, I mean, this is the whole fucking debate, you know, it was like where Trump is like stretching the truth. And then like
Biden looks incoherent.
Dude, I literally stood there and like watched it for a second because my girlfriend's mom was watching it. And I was like kind of standing behind the couch, like just looking at it. And I was like, what the fuck is he saying, dude? Like literally it was like, and it was like, what the fuck is going on right now? Because one guy can't tell the truth to save his life, and one dude can't talk. I was like, these are our choices.
Did you hear what Mark Cuban did?
No.
He put it in like AI.
Okay.
And AI literally said like these candidates weren't good at all.
Like, oh, really?
Yeah.
For both of them?
Yeah, they should not win at all.
Are they're not the only options right now, right?
They're the only options according to how people view politics. So this is what I want to really get into, and I want to talk to people on camera here. And we really need to get together as people in America and really create a third wave, a third party, or a podcast about people who are independents, who want to help America. And I don't know who's that. I'm not into politics enough to do it, but other options, because the fact that these people are two that are controlled by these parties. I mean, look what's going on with the Supreme Court, the whole bribery thing. So Watergate would have been like legal.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like, are they going to go ex post facto this shit? Because, yeah, essentially they said that anything the president does while president is like fine, right? You know, like that's a summarization of
and
it.
then homelessness is going to be bad. Oklahoma's starting to put church and state back together.
Yeah.
And it's just madness in politics right now. And it's because we only have two parties and people only think we have two options. And I've talked to people about this. Like, the problem is y'all think we only have two options. The problem is we need to come together as people. And how do we come together as people? I don't know the answers. There's somebody out there that does know the answer. That is like my biggest thing is like, who can we trust and find who can have a media company who's not biased and literally talk about issues. Most people on every issue is a moderate person. If you talk to everyday people.
Yeah.
And it's just at the point where we need to get together as a country and like figure this out. Dude, imagine me like being there, voting for something. I didn't get paid for it, but then I got paid for it right afterwards, like a couple $1 million. How crazy is it that that's acceptable?
Yeah.
The Supreme Court needs to be redone.
And the thing that is that we like, everybody knows it too. And it just keeps happening, you know? And I think to your point too, like about the third party, I agree that we either need a third party or like, you know, secondary candidates or something like that, that are held to the same standard. The thing is that I feel like a lot of people, whenever they do that, right, they do go to the voting polls or whatever, they're so like blasé and tired of it or whatever that they'll like write in stupid shit, you know, just to like make a point or whatever. Like I forgot I think a couple of years ago, like an exorbitant amount of people wrote in Harambe, the fucking, you know, gorilla that died. And it's like, that's so stupid. You know, I bet those votes could have been put into like an independent party or something like that. And it's, I don't know, man.
I actually think, you know, Robert F. Kennedy has a chance.
Dude, I was going to bring that up. Because I saw it. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot about him. I've been seeing, he's also fucking jacked. Yeah, if you didn't know. My boy's in the gym. Yeah. And it's like, I think that he's a far better candidate than either of these guys that we have right now.
Just by default. I'm not saying I love the guy or anything.
I don't even know what party he's running for. I'm assuming it's
Democratic. He was going to be Democratic, right? But he has to run as independent because of Biden.
Because he's the candidate.
I don't think you see this coming either. There's talk that they did this, because this is early for a debate. What they're going to do is have him withdraw. He'll withdraw at some point.
Biden?
Uh-huh.
Is this the October surprise?
I don't know, maybe. And Michelle Obama will be running. Just throwing it out there.
Man, I don't know about that.
I was talking about this with my client yesterday, and then she sends me an article. How would Michelle Obama do in the polls from Newsweek? Dude, they're literally setting everything up. Just like, how can we believe the whole Mexico presidency with all the assassinations?
I don't know.
It's crazy.
I feel like that's a super late switch.
But how many people would jump at? She's a woman.
Yeah.
Minority.
She's younger.
A lot of people like Barack.
Yeah.
They would think she has the same policies as Barack Obama, right? So,
dude, she would
beat him.
She would, yeah.
And it would take away Robert Kennedy's chance.
Fuck. God damn it.
That's crazy, right?
Wow, dude.
Insane.
We'll see. That would be crazy.
Yes. It's going to be a crazy 2024. Housing market's going down already. You're seeing jobs going away. I have people I know who are graduating, and I feel bad for them because they're like, I'm trying to look for a job. I'm like, this is like the worst time.
Good fucking luck. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's turn into something positive here and how to become happy, right? So I've been listening to Arthur Brooks a lot, and he talks about happiness, and that's his thing. And it really got me thinking a lot, right? And I listen to a lot of other people, and we talk about like money buying happiness. And we know it's not true, because I met people who have plenty of money who are not happy. And it's more about the way you invest your money. So for me, investing in a trip, like us going to Mexico, makes me much happier than buying a bigger house, buying a new car. Where maybe someone else I want a bigger house, and that makes them happy. Maybe they don't leave their house as much. So we need to quit telling people how to spend their money. We need to show people how to invest in things that they like and things that they want. And I think instead of allowing someone outside of you to dictate what you should spend, which a lot of people do, because they'll buy purses, clothing, and then they're still not happy, find things that actually make you happy internally.
this is like a parallel thing. So I really like learning about like habits and how they affect you. After I read that book, Atomic Habits, that you gave me, it really like went down a whole like rabbit hole of it. And I still kind of look into it every once in a while. And one of the things that I read recently that kind of stuck with me is what habits do you have right now that aren't conducive to the person you want to be or to the career you want to have or the success or the family, whatever it is, right? Like, what are you doing right now that isn't helping you? And also, what are you doing right now that is helping you? And like, prioritize those things, right? Focus on those, etc. Now, on the terms of money, I think it's the same thing, right? Where it's like, what things can you spend your money on that are going to help you, right? That are going to make you happier, that are going to make you more successful, that contribute to your hobbies or whatever it is, right? And what are you spending money on right now that isn't, right? That is realistic, right? Like if it's like your bills, don't stop paying your bills. But it's like, you know, if you're spending money on fucking, you know, a pizza every night or on beer night with your buddies, but you're trying to get more fit, right? Like, and then you need to invest your money in something that's going to actually help you, right? And so I think that you're right. And in the same way with like habits and stuff like that, stop telling people like, oh, you should be doing this many times a week, or you should be doing that, whatever. Like they need to be doing the things that they want to do that's going to help them be happier. And focus on your own independent individual happiness as opposed to, like you said, on everything else. You know, like the other day I was on TikTok and I saw this video and it was this girl who had like this purse, and I think it was a Vera Bradley purse.
Disgusting.
No, you don't like this? Oh, okay.
I don't care. I honestly don't care about material things. Yeah. You know me.
Me either, right? And
I have a fucking bent up front car, and people are like, "Are you gonna fix that?" I'm like, "I don't care.
I don't really."
It gets me from point A to point B.
Yeah. And so this purse was like, it was shaped in the like an old telephone. It even had like a little phone piece that you could pick up.
No way.
And like Bluetooth to your phone so you could pick it up, and it was cool, right? But everybody in the comments was like, "Oh, I need one of those. Oh, I need one. Like I've been wanting one for so long, and I see people with it, and blah blah blah." And it's just like, you're being sold something right now. Like I'm pretty sure this is a Vera Bradley ad. Yeah, that is just like being disguised as something else.
And you know? Probably a lot of those comments too are fake comments to make other people look, oh, they want it, so I
want it, right? And it was like all these girls, and the video was like them. They were in the bathroom, and like everybody's like having a good time, and it's like, oh my god, like the girls' bathroom is so
sold.
Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah. And so it's one of those things where it's like you just got fucking advertised, you know what I mean? And now you're gonna go spend who knows how much money on that fucking dumb purse, and you're gonna get it, and you're gonna be like, this doesn't make
momentary of happiness, and then gone.
And then after all of your friends ask about it and whatever, and the only reason that you're gonna be happy that you have it is because your friends want it, right? And the moment that they either get it or don't care about it anymore, then the value of the purse itself dissipates. Right? You could have spent that money on, I don't know, fucking going to the movies with your friends or whatever, something that's actually going to be tangible and increase the quality of your life or whatever it is. And this isn't just about women, right? This is about guys too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Guys
like,
do the same thing with shoes. Like, oh, I need those shoes.
Yeah. Like, dude, I remember in high school.
Or I want to get this buff, the perfect for fitness.
Yeah,
I want to get this big. You know, like,
because at that point I'll be happy, right? And just in the same point, talking about our friend, you know, it's like he's still not totally satisfied, right, with his physique or whatever, and it's just like,
okay, he has gotten a lot better mentally.
Yeah, which is good. Yeah. But it's like, as an example, a lot of people are like that though, right? They think that once they get the six pack or once they get totally shredded or whatever, like that's what's going to fix my problem. I've had clients like that, you know, where like their whole goal is like, I just want to lose weight and I just want to do whatever. And I'm like, is that, you're going to get there, man, and you're not going to feel any different.
I've been 6-7%. Was not the happiest time of my life.
I'm probably at I'm currently at a lower body percent fat than I have been in the past. But right now I'm probably at one of the higher body percent fats I've been in my whole lifetime. And I'm happier than I could fucking ever be.
It's because you begin the Hawk Tui.
That's what actually works. You know, that's what people need to strive for. That's where you need to put your money.
That girl is going to make mad cash.
Did you see that she was on like a podcast recently? Isn't it so weird how people just like become randomly famous out of nowhere because they made a fucking dumb meme?
Yeah.
And they were asking her political questions.
No way. I didn't see that part.
Yeah, they were asking her about like Donald Trump or something like that. And she was like, it's a no from me, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, why are you, this person probably has like nothing of substance to say about anything.
All because they have, oh my God, dude, this society is crazy.
So weird. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about another girl.
Okay.
I sent you a video and she just hit her 30s, pre-diabetic. She looks normal weight and she's pre-diabetic. And the one thing she says in the video was, I wish people told us about strength training and why strength training is important.
Yep.
to help you with insulin response. I don't think people look at muscle as something dumb and
Yeah.
it's just there to help you move. When in reality, it has a lot of disease characteristics. Anti-aging, you know. So, for example, there was a study done on bodybuilders. Of course, they're the extreme group, right? So we expect them to have heart issues and stuff like that. But did you know bodybuilders are less percentage than the average population to have actual cancer? It just shows how much muscle can protect against cancer.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you think about it, thinking about all the bodybuilders that I've known that have passed away or whatever, it's like, it's always from like
because they're
misuse,
in an unhealthy state, right?
Yeah, misuse of like supplements or whatever it is. But it's never from cancer or some virus, the flu, or you know what I mean? They're not dying from like shit that other people die from.
Yeah.
Or diabetes or any of those things, you know, kidney failure, something like that. Like
the only reason they die is usually cardiovascular disease.
Yeah, because of abusing drugs.
Yeah.
You know, it's never from their muscle mass. And I think that's what people tend to like.
No, I'm not saying get that big to begin with, right?
Right. I'm also not saying that this is the standard that you should be aiming for. but it's just a thing where it's like we need to stop attributing having muscle mass as not being optimal. You know, like one of my clients just recently
or like in women's before or even like women like that lady who was talking, like you need muscle mass even if you're going to do yoga or any of those other things so that you can take care of your health and other aspects of life. That's why, like, if someone wants to do yoga or group classes like that, typically it's a female client, right? I don't care as long as you spend 2 days a week doing traditional strength training to build some muscle for your just general health.
Yeah, literally, I'll tell people, do whatever the fuck you want. Yeah. As long as like 2 to 3 days out of the week, you're in the gym.
Yeah, that's why I want to create a program that just experiments with everything, right? Sorry, I cut you off about your client.
No. Yeah. My client, she just recently had some issues with like pre-diabetes, things like that too. And we were sort of talking about like what to do and where to go and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what, I think that we can probably add in some things, you know, to help with like cardiovascular stuff, like because she has also like higher blood pressure, cholesterol, things like that. And so like weight loss is an aspect of it too. But I was like, you know what, I really think that we need to do some more dedicated strength training at least one of the days that you come in, because the muscle mass is going to be the primary thing that's going to help you in terms of like insulin resistance, insulin sensitivity, glucose storage, things like that, because they were trying to get her on medication. They wanted to put her on like Ozempic and things like that. And she doesn't want to. She's just very against like medication and like putting things in her body that don't necessarily need to be there. And I was like, yeah. And the thing that I'm worried about too is that, well, maybe it might help that stuff. It's also probably going to make you lose a lot of muscle mass, which is like kind of the opposite of what we need to do right now, you know? And so it's just interesting, man. Muscle mass is definitely the all-around savior of a lot of things.
Yeah. Speaking of muscle mass, so I talked to a certain amount of people with Ozempic, GLPs, and it's really interesting to me how uneducated they are on the actual drug itself and what it really does, and how doctors, I know they don't have time to give you information, but they should try to give you some information. But it seems like all it's used for is weight loss and stuff like that. And I was talking to this guy and I was like, there's a study and it's about semaglutide, and it leads to greater weight loss in women than in men, that's shown, that have heart failure, and improves heart failure symptoms as well. And there's also other studies that help with neuroinflammation and things like that. But what was cool about this study is it seems that semaglutide provides benefits for men and women that do not track directly to weight loss. So there's a lot of other side benefits, so suggesting the drug may also have weight loss independent effects on cardiovascular system.
Weird.
So there's GLP-1s throughout your whole body. This is something that's natural in your body. And I was trying to explain to one of the guys I was talking, I was like, it's not an outside drug. It's something that's already in your body. It's peptides, right? They're proteins.
It's just like testosterone.
Yeah, it's already in there. You inject it, you just become more efficient, you use it more, and that's it, right? That's why you got to take. The problem is, I think the dosage is what we talked about before, is what causes the issue for most people.
Yeah.
And then they're not telling them, hey, you should go with a personal trainer, build a habit of lifting weights while losing this weight, because when you're ready to get off, or when you get to a low amount, you're in a healthier state because just like we talked about right now, you have more muscle to do anti-aging, to actually keep your bones stronger.
People need to just be coached through it, And the funny thing is, you've heard like exercise is medicine, right? Or if they could prescribe anything in a pill, it would be the benefits of exercise, right?
But even then, you wouldn't get all the benefits of exercise, which is like the mental side of overcoming things and working hard.
The thing is like, dude, you can't. Like, why can't doctors prescribe a personal trainer? Like, why can't we go through insurance like that? Why are we not part of the healthcare field? You know what I mean?
Because if we cured health and we helped health, they would not make money.
Fucking big pharma. Huh?
You got to think a lot of big pharma's money is off of chronic diseases, right?
Yeah.
That's why they're campaigning a lot against these GLP-1s because they're losing weights. So now people are less likely to have cardiovascular disease, less likely to have
the
diabetes.
Thing is like, dude, you talk about
issues
like healthcare system, right? And you think doctors, surgeons, physical therapists, even chiropractors, they'll throw them in there, but you'll never hear a personal trainer be added into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's so funny because like I'll look at, if I'm applying for something or whatever, and it'll say like, what is your job field in, and it'll be, financial, whatever, blah, 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 and healthcare. And I'm always like, well, I guess I want to hit healthcare, but it'll say like nurse or doctor, and it's like, okay, well, there's not even a fitness category.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, so then I just end up hitting other.
The problem is there's still stigma of like a lot of bad trainers out there.
Which I guess there is, but there's also a lot of bad fucking doctors.
There's bad doctors, bad PTs, there's bad everything. It's because we only have a certification. We don't have to get a degree. Yeah. Even though a lot of them have degrees now at this point, a lot of them went to school and they're very smart. And the problem too is social media and the extremeness of social media and how it doesn't really help. You have to eat carnivore. You have to do this. And, I hate when people bring up like, oh, this guy's a PhD and I got my PhD and I'm going to do 90-degree method. And I'm like, okay, there's nothing wrong with the 90-degree method. Okay. I'm going to be honest like that. Right? There's principles that are good and stuff like that. It's not better than full range of motion. 90 degrees is not better. Full range of motion is not better than 90 degrees. It's what is the principle and what do I need as a human? What modality do I need to do to get me better? It's a lot more complex than all these guys will tell you.
Yeah.
90 degrees, baby.
Oh my God.
I hope that clips.
You love sending me that.
I love sending it. Now let's put something over our face so that way we can't see and where to lift.
The other day, what was it? There was one that he did where it was like a trap bar. And the dude was in like a half position with the trap bar, like lifted up off the ground and like holding it. And he had like this thing on his head and he was like pulling it like side to side, like doing
yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is happening right now?
So I can see that for like a football athlete.
Yeah.
Right? He's getting hit.
So
he needs to keep his balance.
Though, you know? And it's like, that's the thing where I was like, oh man, yeah. We just got to throw some buzzwords in here. Buzzwords, clickbait, whatever. So now AI will.
Shutter, light.
Yeah, it'll clip it. It'll clip it now. Put it on.
This guy knows who he is, but he has a PhD, so he's better than me. Yeah, I hope it clips it. All right. Physical activity, the second study that we have is physical activity reduces stress-related brain activity to lower cardiovascular disease risk. So we don't talk about stress enough in life and the micro stresses. And that's why we talked about earlier with sleep, to do yoga before bed to help you with sleep, to get off social media. It's the stress aspect of life. And right now, even though you're watching this, or not so much listening, but if you're watching this, you're getting stress into the eyes. You don't see it as stress, but your body perceives it as stress. And so it does affect your cortisol level throughout the day. That's why if you're like on your phone all day, clicking, it actually is a stress.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and it happens all the time. Back then, we used to have stresses, but it was like, there's a line here, it was there, and it's not there anymore. We got to relax.
So I'm going to bring up two things for this one. Just in terms of stress. I sent you a video from one of the, like, he's like a dad lifter guy. You know how there's like mom lifter accounts?
I'm a mom lifter. I'm a dad lifter.
This is like a dad lifter account.
You're just a lifter, bro.
And he was talking about, he was like, I just had my third kid recently, and like the stresses of fatherhood are like kind of on my mind, and it's like been getting a lot. And so, it was kind of like a cheesy video, but he was like, I drove to the gym and I started moving, and like my brain cleared up, and I became more like focused, and it just kind of helped me like reset my mindset in the moment of being like very panicked and stuff like that. And while it is like a little bit of a cheesy video, it's also very true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how often am I having a bad day? And like literally I'm just like, God, I wish I could go to the gym right now, because I know it would at least put my mind either somewhere else or make me focus or whatever.
Put you in the present moment.
Put me in the present moment, take me out of that like future thought thing. And so here's the next part is that I was just watching a video like right before we sat down the podcast from BioLane, and he was talking about how like fear sells, right? And how that's a big thing that like that happens. And so when you talk about nuance and stuff like that, like me and you, we don't really get clicks like that. And the thing is that, like you said, your stress response has like upped its level because we don't really have to worry about things now. I walk outside, and like he was saying, he was like, I'm not worried about anything. I'm not worried about my safety if I walk outside, like rarely ever, I'm not worried about getting attacked or anything like that. So our threshold of what is stressful has just like risen so high that now we're like, the processed foods in the grocery store is going to kill me. And that's why people are,
Your boy from the UK.
Really, like, and that's why videos like that sell, because now I'm like, I'm freaking out about whatever, right? And so
we're trying to. I think Halloween's more popular than ever because there is no stress. OCR racing is more popular than ever, like Spartan races and stuff like that, because we are seeking stress.
You're seeking it out, and you seek it out all the time, whether you're on your phone, right? Like I'm seeking it out there or whatever. You're constantly looking for something to be stressed about. I'll even find myself sitting down, driving in the past, not as much now, but trying to figure out like what I was stressed out about. Like, what was that thing again? So I can think about it. It's like, it makes pure sense, that if I'm putting my energy somewhere else, if I'm putting that stress into action, it's going to lower it, and at the end of the day, make me a healthier individual.
All right, guys, before we go into our fitness questions, remember, you're on Apple and Spotify. You can subscribe, like it. On YouTube, hit that button, subscribe, like, leave comments. Then also our website is strengthsolutionspodcast.com. We have free blogs, free guides, and programs on there for purchase. Then if you're looking for email us future fitness questions, is strengthsolutionspodcast.com. If you want to be anonymous, you can let us know. Then you can also find us on social media, Strength Solutions Podcast, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. And on Instagram, I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
All right. So first question. I have a high stress job. What are things I can do to improve my stress? And also, how could I work out for my job? So I guess to de-stress from the job, right? Didn't say what particular job. Easy. Like this is where I like things like yoga, maybe doing a mobility workout, which I'm doing tomorrow. It's not always about building muscle, but recovering the body, right?
Yeah.
And I think too many times we're just like, the only thing we're going to do is build the muscle. Maybe work on the movement and just strength.
And I bet that if you do that, you'll actually build muscle, because I think what people get trapped in is that they get trapped in like that, like cortisol cycle, where it's like, oh, my job is stressful, so I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to kill myself because I gotta get it out. I'm so stressed out. And then you raise your stress again. And then you're just like constantly stuck in the recovery cycle and you never actually make any gains. So I bet if you were to turn it down a little bit, you actually would see that progress start to happen. I think in ways to, improve your stress or to maybe de-stress, right? Find something that's unstressful, man. Like find a hobby or something.
Find something that winds you down.
I think a lot of the times people get stuck in their jobs too, right? Where they don't have any hobbies. They have nothing they do for themselves.
You know what does really well for me? Just watching sports. Like
Whatever
I'm literally
it is, right?
sitting down, because what sports does, it puts me in the present. I'm watching the game as a coach because I was going to coach. And I'm looking at like formations. I'm looking at like, are they hitting the triangle? Like, boom. Like I'm looking at things like that. I'm not looking at like, is my team going to win? And I can watch any team, not even my team.
Yeah. I think for me, it's like music. I really like listening to music a lot. I think it's one of those things too, where I look at it sort of like as a gym type thing, where it's like, I get to get it out, and then by the end of it, I'm like, I feel better. Or, even trying to just put my energy somewhere as opposed to just sort of sitting in it, I think is what helps me the most.
Yeah. Just find little things that you like. All right. Question number 2. How long does it take to really see results when it comes to fitness? I am starting my fitness journey for some context.
Okay.
So early on, what you should see if you're just starting your fitness journey is a lot of strength gains.
Yeah.
You might be a little sore early on in the process. It's normal. But you should see a lot of strength gains. Now, as far as like weight loss, you might see the same weight at the beginning, but you might be gaining a pound of muscle and then losing a pound of fat. You should feel like your clothes feel different at least, even if you're not changing much on the scale. Maybe look a little different in the mirror, like pretty soon in the process, starting out.
Yeah.
But that's assuming you're consistent. Now, as you become better and better, you have to do more for less results. And this is where people stop or they don't know where to go.
Or they think they plateaued.
Right? It's just going to either take more, and more can be maybe backing off your volume.
Yeah.
More could be adding more volume. More can be being more consistent with your nutrition.
I think along with the word more, we should say different.
Or different.
Right. I think that different is a thing that you really want to see. So like you said, you'll see those newbie gains in the beginning and then it'll start to taper off. I think that, I mean, if, like you said, if you're consistent, I don't know, maybe first like 3 months, you start to see things start to change.
Some people it's 6 months, right?
Yeah, some people it's more. And in terms of those strength gains that we're talking about, it's rarely from large increases of muscle. It's actually more of like a nervous system adaptation.
Correct.
So be aware of that. Like don't wonder where all my muscle mass is going or whatever it is. It's just a nervous system adaptation that happens at the beginning. But yeah, I think also trying to maybe re-perceive what results are, like maybe it's not always about how jacked you're getting. Maybe it's like you said, are my clothes feeling better? Am I feeling better? Do I have more energy? I think you'll see those results much faster,
And then I think it's more common. A lot of people want to see this like perfect results like this, like a straight up the graph, right? It's more like here's up, it stops, it goes straight and then up and then stops and then, it's not this like straight angle. It's more like ups and downs. And then it's like 2 steps up, 1 step down, 2 steps up, maybe 3 steps down, now 4 steps up. And like it goes back and forth. As long as the trend line is going in that direction, it just takes time. I think people want results real fast.
Yeah.
Just isn't like that. I mean, a lot of people are like, well, I want to lose all this weight because I gained it. I was like, well, you didn't gain it over 1 year. You probably gained this over like 5 years, yet you want to lose it in 3 months.
Regardless, results will happen if you're consistent.
Just consistent, right? That's the biggest key. First is consistency. After that, I mean, I literally gave advice today. Just worry about your protein.
Yeah.
Let's be consistent there. And then let's work our next one. And then
it's like be consistent first, optimize second.
Yeah. All right. Question number 3. So I have tried different diets and none of them seem to work. Where do I go from here? The problem is you tried different diets. Like you didn't really find things that work for you, the individual.
In theory, every diet should work.
Correct.
Right. It just, again, I think it depends on consistency. And it also depends on your caloric intake.
Yeah.
And I think the thing too is that you need to stop looking for a diet, right? Stop looking for an answer. Right? Stop looking for a magic pill or the diet that's going to work.
I'll give you a perfect example. Just today, I was talking to my client. I was like, I love steak. I love fish and chicken. I like it all. And then she was like, well, I like mostly fish. I was like, well, then just eat fish as your main protein or some sort of seafood. That's okay. You don't have to follow like a particular protein. You just got to follow what you like and what can you do consistently.
Yeah. Now, I think they should be eating more of it, but I find a lot of my women clients, don't like red meat, right?
Yeah, I wonder if we talked about a little bit about evolutionary why.
I do wonder why, but they don't like red meat, right? I think it's less evolutionary, and I think it's actually more societal because I think that we've been fed, especially my older female clients are like, nope, red meat it'll kill me if I eat it. You know what I mean? Like they're so against it because I think they've just been fed their whole life.
I do think that too because I was actually talking to one with fish and stuff, and we were talking about like, oh, I have to have a steak well done, and I was like, it's probably because the group you grew up with, right? Like in Amanda's family, like they want it well done, and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with the other way, and she's like, well, it's not that the blood bothers me that comes out. I was like, well, the problem is y'all think blood and disease subconsciously, right? And it's because you've been told this story for so long.
I also think it just goes to the way that you talk about it, like red meat. right? Like red meat is bad for you. So maybe if I cook it all out, it's better.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, whatever it is. But
I could see that.
yeah, it's like if you don't like red meat, okay, cool. Then if you like chicken, turkey, fish, everything else, you can get it all from that too. You know,
you just got to find what you like.
Yeah, it's not this like requirement that you have to do it. I think a lot of people think that too, like, oh, now I have to eat chicken and rice all the time because I'm being fit. And it's like, no, it has nothing to do with that. You know?
Yeah, dude. All right. Last question. How often should you work out? I am brand new to strength training, but used to do a lot of cardio.
Ooh, interesting.
What would you say?
I think if it's someone,
7 days a week.
At that point, so like I've had people come to me who are runners, right? And they're like, I want to get more into strength training. At this point, I understand that you already have discipline. You probably can self-motivate, right? If you can fucking run, you gotta have some motivation because that shit sucks. So it's like, I understand that you probably already halfway there, if not more, right? Now we just have to change your concept of what is training, right? What is actually going to be benefiting me? How do I feel that same sort of gratification from strength training as opposed to, you know, something more cardiogenic like running, right? I say 2 times a week, right? If you still really, really like doing cardio, right? If I still want to run all the time. Okay, cool. Then can you run 5 days a week and the other 2, can you do resistance training, right? Maybe 3. I was telling a client today because he's going back to school soon. He's in college. And he was like, you think that I could probably do like 4 days a week or 5 days a week when I get back? Because right now we're doing 3. And I was like, to be honest with you, man, I think 4 is like enough. I don't really think you need to be doing more than that, especially because you're in college and you got school and friends and shit like that. Like, don't go to the gym 7 days a week. That's dumb. Like, do 4, you know? So I think it just kind of depends on what your current goals are.
You could do 7 days a week.
You could do 7 days a week.
You're going to have to make new friends.
Yeah. You're going to make friends with the leg extension machine. You know?
All the bros.
Yeah. You're literally going to have to change your entire friend group. You know what I mean? And so I think it just depends. I think anywhere from 2 to 3 days a week is good, especially if you still want to keep up with that cardio bit. I think everybody around the entire world should do 2 days of strength training.
So if this person's addicted to cardio, something I would do is taper them off. And what I mean is, let's say they're doing 6 days a week of cardio. Well, switch 1 day to strength training.
Yeah, let's
still do 5
days. Yeah.
And then eventually do 2 days of strength training, do 3 days of cardio. And then from there, we would see, where do you want to head? Do you want more strength training? You got 2 days, so you're good. A week. I think people think it takes more than 2 days. It's crazy.
I feel like they think you need to be in the gym like 4 or more days a week.
I think a lot of people think you got to be there Monday through Friday, at least 5 to 7.
Yeah, for like an hour at least.
Dude, I'm telling you, my routine right now is 4 days a week.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm getting results. I just told you I've done the most on curls I've ever done. I was like, what the?
Yeah,
and I'm not a good curler.
I'll do 4 days a week. I'll do
3 days a week.
45 to an hour. Yep. Yeah, and
that's another thing. People think you got to be there like 2 hours.
Yeah, sometimes in that 45 to an hour, I get like, I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 exercises done. And I'm at my highest muscle mass, my lowest body fat percentage right now. Like, you know.
I know.
That's the way it is, man.
All right, guys. If you like what we're doing, please share on Apple and Spotify, rate and review us. Also, we're on YouTube. You can leave a comment down below. Smash that like button. Smash the subscribe. We have our website, strengthsolutionspodcast.com. Free blogs, free guides, and programs on there for purchase. Then if you have an email, Strength Solutions Podcast. On TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, Strength Solutions Podcast. On Instagram, I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
Until next time, guys, what?